Well, good morning everybody, and on a very wet and well, what will be windy day here where I live in Essex, it's probably a good time to be out in the cabin ready to make a start properly on the tracklaying. So my first task of the day, as you can see, I have been putting some track down, but that will be coming back up again in a minute. My first task of the day is, over Christmas, Mrs. Exehaven needed me to tidy up their dining room, and everything's been shoved here. So I'm going to need this working space here. So first things first is a damn good tidy up, and so that I'm going to make myself some room. It was getting worse just before Christmas, to be honest. But I've got a table down here of lots of bits and pieces, and I'm just going to have a good tidy up for a while. So once you come back to the next segment, hopefully we'll be into doing something down here. Okay, so I'll see you shortly.
Right, okay, so trying to keep the camera still. There we go. The first track is in. Platform's down. In fact, this is quite a good view for me. I can check to see whether the track is straight, and it looks pretty straight to me. By eye, it looks pretty good. The last piece of track going out to the point in the distance is not fixed in yet, but part of it is. So we're getting there. But that has taken most of the morning to do that, a good hour and a bit, trying to get everything straight, bit of soldering, and it's worked quite well, I think. Right, okay, so as you see, we have the first sound steam engine at Exehaven. It's a BR Class 5MT. Funnily enough, I saw Stephen's got one on his layout at Exehaven Harbour when I watched his latest video this weekend. I think I might have already known that he'd had one anyway, but I rather like these, and although it is perhaps just not quite for this area that I'm running in, although I believe there was one on the Western region at Oxford station there, I just like them. And I decided, even though it might be just a slim connection with the southern and western region, I was having one. And when TMC done their sale, I just couldn't resist, and there was about, I think it was probably about £80 off. So yeah, very pleased with that. It's running in at the moment. Had my usual little funny spell with the Z21, trying to program everything in, wouldn't work. Then I realised I hadn't got the program track plugged in, and oh god, it's an age thing, I think. I was too eager to get on with it, but yep, there we go. Apart from the pony truck, that just keeps coming off every now and again, but I'll have a little look at that later. But I'll pop that back on in a minute. It doesn't seem to cause any issues anyway, so while it's running in, it's almost best to leave well alone. But it's something to do with the track, I think. There's a little bump in my test track up here that's developed, so I'll have a little look at that as well. So there we go. Oh, it's popped itself back on by the looks of it. There we go. Oh, there she is in the BR green. I thought about getting the black one, but I do like the BR green. There's something about it. Anyway, there she goes, and I've been having great fun putting the functions in. I've only done it on my iPad, which I'm filming on at the moment, so I can't get to those and film to show you what they are, but you've seen them all before. They're just whistles, lamb, squirrel, all those sort of things. So yeah, there she goes. Right, okay, welcome back, and in the next segment now, I have been tracklaying. This lot here is holding down some cork, ready for some track to go down on that. I've got down to that far so far, but I can't put any more down on this track, or this cork bed that's being laid at the moment, because I've got to work it out down to them 2 points just there. What I have been doing, and if I can get a shot of it, I've got 2 tracks now coming out of the station, somewhat slightly obliterated by this lot here, but if I just sort of give you a kind of drone shot, that's all going out. It's secured down by some screws. I've done that on my last layout when I was laying the track. These screws are slightly different. I've got these off of eBay, and they've got like a flange. It's all one piece, but it actually holds the track down, whereas I was only using some wood screws before. The plan is with these is actually to keep these in even when I ballast. Once I've finished the ballast, I'll take them out and then just go around and just fill the little holes up as I go. What it does, it really does keep the track securely in place, and I found that really did work for me last time. I saw it, I think I saw it on some American layout. Some guy was building this great big model railway, and he used screws to keep his track down whilst at this stage, and it really did, it works a treat. So there we go. I'll come back to you. Hopefully I'm going to get another couple of segments done before, let's call it my Friday deadline, but if I can't make it this week, then it'll have to go another week. As usual, there's always so much to do. And I've managed to grab a couple of hours out here this morning. It's been a freezing cold couple of days, but it's not too bad in the cabin. I've got my 2 little radiators that are working all the time, and I've got a little air blower, heat blower, that really does sort of take the edge off the temperature, and it's quite pleasant actually in here now, because that's been working for about half an hour this morning, and of course it's filled the cabin with warm air, and it's quite nice. Anyway, as you can see, the 5MT's running round there. That's been running around most of the morning. Really been enjoying the sound of that just chuffing away in the background, and I'm very pleased with it. I've actually had I had the pony truck off because it kept coming off the track, and that was a very fiddly job. That took me half an hour to do this morning. I put it back on, and it seems to have worked a treat. All I've done was just undone the screws and done them up perhaps a little bit tighter than they were, and she's run like a dream ever since. So there we go. I'll leave you with that shot, and I'll be back to you in a bit. Okay, so we're starting to get there a little bit now. It has been very fiddly sorting out the platforms, and as you can see, we've got 2 in, and some of the track is obviously being laid, not dissimilar to what it was last time. I've got another platform which is just waiting over there to go in on the other side of here, so it'll run through there and the back track there. Now, what I decided to film this little bit just to show you, and what's very interesting is I think it was David Pierce actually told me that he used, I can't remember what it was, David, now, but I think he said something like a 4mm strip or something like that between the track and the platforms to get the right spacing. Well, strangely enough, some I-beam that I had is 4mm wide, and it does work out to be almost the perfect spacing. Now, I've allowed a little bit more than perhaps I really need, because at some point in the future I'm sure there's like an 08 shunter that's going to appear on the layout, and I want that extra little bit of gap for it to get down. And you know, it's difficult to think about everything, but I think that was always in my thoughts. It'd be nice to have an 08 shunter just to test it out, really. But be that as it may, those I-beams have have been invaluable this morning, and actually has speeded up the process somewhat, because I was starting to get a little bit, not frustrated, but it was just taking longer than it should have done. But anyway, that's what I'm doing, and it seems to be working out well. My test coach seems to run very nicely up and down that platform, as you can see. And I don't suppose you can see the gap there. There we go. So there's a slight roll down here, but it doesn't fail there. And there must be, let's have a look, a couple of millimeters gap there, but from the front on you wouldn't know. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and I'm quite pleased with the way that looks. So we'll leave that bit there. I'll be back to you in a while. Right, so there we go. I actually feel that I'm really making some progress now. Once I got the spacing for the platforms using that I-beam, 4mm wide I-beam, it became quite easy to set it up. The outside track here, I haven't done that yet, I've just run out of time now, and the rest of them are in though, and I think you may agree with me, you might not, but that is actually starting to take shape now. It's easy for me to say. I think the platforms look great, and I really can't wait to get really cracking. All I've got to do, a couple of pieces of track I've got to solder some droppers on, which is a piece of cake, but like I say, I've run out of time today. Hopefully I might get out here tomorrow. It's a non-golfing Saturday this week, so Mrs. Exehaven might not need me, so it depends what we're doing. And yeah, I can't wait to have that populated with trains, really, and the and of course the station building, which I've got to build yet, and I've got a few ideas for that which I've got to try out to try and anglicise it. And that's been a good couple of days work on and off, and I've really cracked at it this morning. And I haven't even had any trains running this morning, because usually I find that a bit of a distraction. But yeah, there we go. I think we're going to call that a day on this video. It's probably about 15-20 minutes long, and I'll see you all again in 2 weeks' time, hopefully, all being well. If not, you know, if I haven't achieved enough or filmed enough, then it'll be 3 weeks. But the way things are going at the moment, I tend to be ticking over, and it's quite a good time of year to get out here. The cabin's reasonably warm. I've got 2 heaters going in here all the time, 2 little oil radiator heaters, and I put the blower on this morning for half an hour, the blower heater that I've got, and I'm sweating. And mind you, might be an age thing. But yeah, so we're slowly working our way out of Exehaven Harbour station, and hopefully in the next week or two we'll get down to this junction and get that sorted out. I know how it works now, so I'm happy with that. The other things that I've got to do is sort out a bridge for the back, because there'll be 2 tracks going around right at the back there. We've got this bridge at the front. I'm not sure whether I'm going to build that myself or what I'm going to do yet. We'll have to wait and see. There are a few sort of plans formulating in my mind. I mean, I built a bridge originally. I might actually use that. I might just sort of cut that down a bit, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
and then we can start getting cracking. But I'm looking forward to getting a full circuit, but so that I can start really having trains running properly, apart from this sort of oval of track that I've got going round just as my test track really, or a track to keep me happy with some trains running. There's a 5MT sitting there nicely. So yeah, so on that note, thanks very much. Subscribers have clicked up quite quickly again from last time, so thank you all to the new subscribers for doing that for us. That's great. If you like what you see, click the old thumbs up button. It does help the channel apparently. Not that I'm doing it for any real reason apart from documenting my progress, but it's great to have you all aboard, and the comments and helpful tips and suggestions. It's fantastic. So speak with you soon. Cheers for now.